Ito po ay isang malungkot na pangyayari sa kasaysayan po ng aming pamilya, lalo na bata pa po ang aming mga anak. No? Hindi po totoo ang mga paratang na isinasampa sa akin. Matagal na po kaming may problema ng aking asawa since 2013 at ngayon ito ay nababahiran ng politika. Ako po ay suportado ng aking pamilya Bautista at hindi lang po ang pamilya Bautista, pati na rin po ang Cruz Vasquez family. At ipapakita po namin sa mga susunod na araw na ito po ay isang kaso ng paninikil at panggigipit. Sa totoo lang po, ako po ang biktima dito. Biktima ng pagtataksil. At ako din po ay nabiktima ng ang aking pong pagkatao para po akong naghahasa sa aking sariling pamamahay nung ako po ay pinagbawalang umuwi sa sariling pamamahay. Naglagay po sila ng mga armed goons para po pigilin akong umuwi sa aking sariling pamamahay. At nung po kami ay nakapasok, nakita ko po na yung aking mga lock cabinets ay nabuksan. Yung pong iPad ko pinagkukuha. Lahat po ng aking mga ari-arian, mga documents, mga reports, mga pera, GCs, etc. na pag-aari ko po at pag-aari po ng aking pamilya. Siguro dapat nyo rin po malaman, nung ako po ay nasa Amerika, when I was observing the US elections, I got a call from my BDO branch manager who said that my wife was withdrawing $117,000 and 250,000 pesos from our joint account and transferring it to her personal account. Nung tinatawagan ko siya at tinatanong kung bakit po niya ito ginagawa, ayaw niya pong sagutin yung aking tawag. At ito nga po, nung ako ay pauwi na galing Estados Unidos, papuntang Amerika, nakatanggap po ng text ang aking kapatid na mas matanda. Sabi niya na wag na daw muna akong umuwi sa aming bahay. Meron na daw siyang in-engage na abogado at dapat daw ay masettle namin muna po yung aming paghihiwalay bago daw po ako pauwiin. So sabi ko nga, ito po ay maliwanag na paninikil at panggigipit na ginagawa sa akin.
Sir, how do you explain the properties and the bank accounts that were not declared in your salary?
Hindi po totoo yun. No? At in fact, kahapon, kasama ko po yung mga Inquirer reporters at we went through all of those items and I can tell you that they are either in the SALL, for example, yung Bonifacios High Street, yung pong meron pong mga accounts na fake, na hindi po talagang, they do not exist. Yung pong 35 bank accounts, sa totoo lang po, hindi ko po alam yung dami dahil ninakaw po yung mga passbook. Yung amount po na sinasabi doon, I cannot verify, but I don't think it is that high. Yung offshore accounts, I only have one. Okay? But this one is shared with my family. At yun din ang gusto ko pong bigyan diin, no? Na over the years, my family, including my parents who are heirs, my brothers and sisters who live in the US, have been regularly co-investing with me since the 90s. So marami po kaming, kumbaga, sosyo na magkakapatid. At lahat po ito ay nakadokumento at pwede naming ipakita.
Sir, you said earlier na medyo nabahira na ng politika. Who is behind this?
Siguro mas magandang tignan nyo na muna. Meron na kaming information kung sino, pero we are still further vetting the information. At siguro nga, ang inaano ko is that ang binabahiran ay hindi lang ako, ang COMELEC, pati na rin yung eleksyon natin noong 2016. No? At masasabi ko na siguro our May 2016 elections are the cleanest and the best managed in Philippine election history. Ito po ay sinabi hindi lang ng mga local watchdogs tulad ng PPCRV, NAMFREL, Democracy Watch, COMELEC Advisory Council, but Carter Center. Ito rin po ay binigyan tayo ng parangal, no? Nung International Center for Parliamentary Studies na nagsasabing COMELEC was the best election management body of the year in 2016 in the world. No? Aside from that, nagkaroon po ng Pulse Asia survey of 1,200 respondents in July of 2016. 90% po ang approval rating dun sa nakaraang eleksyon.
Sir, how did she get access kay President Duterte? Do you know if she's friends with any of the...
Hindi yata. Pero yun nga ang nangyari, no? Na yung kanya abogado, and I have it all, no? Na tinext ako at sabi, ito daw yung terms niya. Okay? At humihingi nga na amount of mga 620 million. Kung hindi ko daw ibibigay, pupuntahan daw niya si President Duterte. Yun ang warning.
When was this, sir?
It was sometime in June. I have it. I have the...
Can you show us the text right now?
I think I should... let me look for it.
Sir, ano bang pinag-usapan with the President?
Alam mo, the President was very kind. He was like not only a mediator, but a marriage counselor. He recounted his own experiences with his family and that he was providing us good advice. Kasi ang nangyari niyan is that nung nag-meeting kami doon sa Malacanang, no, napatawag ako nung Tuesday, August 1. No? The meeting was supposed to be at 5 p.m. but the actual meeting started at about 8:20. Kasama ko po ang aking eldest sister, si Susan, pero kasama ko din po ang aking mother-in-law at ang aking stepfather-in-law doon sa meeting na yon. No? My mother couldn't make it because my mother is a stroke victim and she is still recovering. No? At nag-usap po kami ni Pangulo, kinuwento ko po yung aking panig at nagbigay po siya ng advice. Sinabi niya po sa akin, kasi ako naman sabi ko sa kanya, hindi po ako kapit-tuko sa kahit anong posisyon or panunungkulan. No? Kung ang palagay ko ako'y nagiging pabigat na sa isang institusyon, wala namang problema sa akin na magbitiw. No? Pero sabi niya sa akin, no, I'm not asking you to resign. That is really your call. And then he asked about what was the state of the settlement. At sinabi ko naman. And then sabi niya, kakausapin daw niya yung misis ko na nasa kabilang kwarto. So actually, kinausap niya. Tapos doon, pinatawag ako. Ako lang. Tapos kaming tatlo nag-usap. Ay, yun na nga, meron siyang specific recommendation si Pangulo kung sana matapos na ito, kawawa yung mga bata, ganun-ganun. At ako, okay na ako eh. Yung ako, kaya nga ako medyo nabigla, kasi biglaan na lang, lumabas na naman itong affidavit, no? Pero kasi nga ang aking ano rin is that yung affidavit is dated August 1, okay? And remember, we met August 1 at about 9 p.m. So it would seem that the affidavit was executed even before we met with the President.
Sir, clarification ako.
Well, as I said, I did offer. You know, I just said hindi ako kapito ko. Kung sa tingin niya, kailangan ako magbitiw. Wala akong problema.
Sir, yung answer po ng political answer, that the transfer to the penal law office, which happens to be the counselor or handling legal matters concerning the party.
Ay, hindi ko po alam yan. No? Again, hindi ko alam na sila ba ang ng Liberal Party. Hindi ko alam yan.
But you're not at all connected or in communication with the penal law.
Kaibigan ko po si Dean Nilo Divina. Matagal ko na siyang kaibigan dahil nga po siya ang dekano ng UST, Faculty of Civil Law, at ako naman ang naging dekano ng FEU. Kaya doon kami naging magkaibigan.
So you're not in touch with the law, sorry sir,
No, well, in fact, they're helping us. Wala silang kaso. They do not represent any protestant or protestee here in Comelec.
Sino mag-indicate daw yung Senado at Kongreso? Sabi ni Senator Soto at Atty. Roque, mag-indicate daw sila.
Okay, well, open naman tayo dyan.
Sir, yung 620 million na hinihingi nila for settlement, ano yun? Because of the, are you undergoing a divorce?
Yes.
Okay.
Yun ang gusto niyang matagal na, no? Na ever since nga 2013, talagang gusto na niyang maghiwalay dahil nga merong third party involved, no? On her part, no?
Okay.
Eh ako naman, bata pa yung aming mga anak, so talagang I was trying to save the family. Okay? In fact, her mother and my mother spoke to her and basically asked, why are you doing this? No? And as I said, maraming nakakaalam tungkol sa aming sitwasyon. Okay? At marami kayong pwedeng pagkatanungan. Nag-counseling, marriage counseling and all. Pero I guess talagang desidido na siya kasi nga merong third party siyang.
The Vasquez family, sir, is your wife's family.
Well, my wife's mother is Baby Cruz, and she recently got married to Dr. Daniel Vasquez.
Okay, and they're supporting you, sir. Weird lang kasi they're on their side.
Well, because siguro, basta maybe you should interview her dahil ang sinasabi lang naman niya, pumapanig sila kung ano man yung tama, kung ano man yung totoo.
Sir, yung NBI, sir, was already started by the DOJ to conduct an investigation. Reaction na.
Again, we will welcome any investigation.
Sir, you said ninakaw yung mga financial documents noong November pa. Pero bakit hindi yung nag-file na complaint o inireklamo ng police?
Because yung ang pinakamahalaga sa akin, okay, was yung mga bata maprotektahan. Okay? Meron na kaming drafts ng mga complaints na pwedeng ihain. At alam namin na pag ito ay lumabas, ay i-file namin at lumabas sa media, makakawawa ang aking mga bata. At sabi ko nga, sila ang pinakamahalaga para sa akin. Pero itong nangyari ngayon, kumbaga forced to good, kailangan ko din ngayon ipaglaban ang karangalan ng aming pamilya. Kung kaya't kakausapin ko ang aking mga abogado at titingnan kung anong aming susunod na hakbang.
Sir, just to educate us, sir, you are an impeachable officer. Can the criminal prosecution or your family, can you be criminally prosecuted, sir, being an impeachable officer?
Ano sa tingin mo? Ikaw naman, ano yan? Ano yan?
Sir, hindi namin alam.
Siguro mag-research kayo, mag-research.
But are you ready to face an impeachment complaint?
We are ready to face anything and everything.
Sir, lahat ba yung nabanggit ng mga documents kahapon ng misis niya nasa sa atin?
Yes. Well, as I said, no? And again, we can go asset by asset. I can tell you, for example, meron dyan Hong Kong Shanghai bank account, 948,000 Hong Kong dollars. Pawang kasinungalingan yan. Okay? Kung yan meron man, kanya na. Okay? Merong RCBC account, $12,000. That's possible. Kasi magkano lang naman yung $12,000. Kung pag titignan niyo yung salad ko, again, I have not seen. So I said, I think one of my SALN is one of the it is the highest among constitutional offices, and I think among government officials, it would be in the top, siguro 20, sabihin mo na. No? So, I used to be an international lawyer. As I said, I worked in New York for several years, and then I moved to Hong Kong with an American international law firm. I became a partner of Allen & Overy, which is an English international law firm. I became the president of Shangri-La Philippines. So kahit na paano naman, meron akong pinagkuhanan ng mga perang ito. And I've been investing, you know. And kung masasabi ko, lahat ng assets na nasa salin ko, yun po ang aming pag-aari.
Sir, Bernie mentioned din, sir, ng Smartmatic voucher. Congressman Roque mentioned.
Yun ang hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga yun ang problema, eh, no? Minsan, gumagawa sila ng mga ebidensya, hindi ko alam kung ano yan, no? Basta ang alam ko lang is that ninakawan ako and that it's been 10 months, okay? And up to now, hindi po binabalik itong mga kinuhang dokumento sa akin. meron silang binigay sa akin ng listahan ng mga bank accounts. No? This was siguro 5 days after siguro mga November 24. No? And doon sa listahang yun, I can tell you, kung sa 30 bank accounts, siguro mga kalahati, hindi naman totoo. In fact, nag-issue pa ako ng special power of authority to her so that she can verify if indeed those bank accounts are real.
But sir, with regards to sa Smartmatic, can you categorically deny na wala po kayong tinanggap from Smartmatic on a personal level?
Wala po akong tinanggap.
Sir, how about yung mga overseas, overseas interest nyo or loans na pinanggit niya? Yung mga companies na pinanggit.
Okay, offshore account. No? Okay, offshore account. Okay, as I said, I was an international lawyer. I have had offshore accounts since the 1990s. No? But right now, I only have one offshore account together with my family. Okay? With the Bank of Singapore. And that is all declared.
Sir, you mentioned kanina sir na you're willing to, if you feel na mabigat na kayo, were you able to discuss this matter already with your fellow commissioners?
Wala ngayon lang lumabas, ikaw naman.
Sir, kanina,
Nakausap ko yung iba. Oo.
anong reaction?
Sir, based on your salary and how much are you worth?
I think it's 176,300,000. I think, again, that's a public document, so it's something that you can verify.
Sir, may info na ang nag-broker ng Duterte and your wife's meeting is Lisa Marcos. Ano, sir?
No comment. No comment.
I'm sorry, I'm sure he's already prepared for this. He just doesn't know what I'm going to actually bring out.
On my way to Artigas, okay. I came here because Tisha asked me for advice.
So there's 300 million in this bank. You can see, I think there are about 32 passbooks.
You said you reached out to the president.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened there? When was this? When did this happen?
Last
That's
month.
Wednesday.
2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
2-3 weeks
Wednesday
ago.
after Sona.
And ma'am, it was the president
After
himself.
Wednesday after.
It was the president himself who met with you
yes.
in
In the palace.
the palace. It was just you.
He was very
and
kind.
Any of your lawyers
What was your reason
for reaching
I
out
said,
to
you know what? I'm getting scared because like I said, it hit a wall. And I'm holding this stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know how far-reaching it is. I don't know what to do, right? So I would think that the safest place to bring this is there. Because at the end of the day, right, this is the president. This is as high as it goes. The first meeting, I think majority of everything I said is in the affidavit. I already went to the NBI and what do you call that? Swore in and whatever the affidavit. It's about 6 inches high, so you can look at it. 6 inches thick.
So the first meeting with the president was Wednesday after the sauna, right?
Yes.
Wednesday after.
All he said is that he whatever way he can help. He was, I think, surprised as much as I was.
He endorsed us to the
He endorsed it to the NBI director, who has been the one coordinating. Because I mean, I guess
Were there anyone else during the meeting? Or it was just you and
well, he endorsed it to the NBI director.
I mean, during the meetings we told the NBI.
Yes.
There's a second meeting, right? Because I heard a while ago that Anibal was also called to the palace.
Yes.
When did this happen?
When did this happen? Sorry, that I'm not good with dates, so I look at them because I don't know the dates.
Tuesday. You met again with the president on Tuesday with your husband.
Not with my husband.
It was separate.
He met him
Separate.
Yeah, separate.
So that.
Not with me.
Well, can you
No, but you-
detail?
Later on what do you call it? We were in the we faced each other.
Para saan yung final yung affidavit sa NBI? What good will it do if you can't
file a case.
No, for whatever legal purpose may serve, because at least we have the backing or the services of the NBI in helping us to uncover or to trace this the source of these funds.
And at least at the minimum, like I said, at least it's on paper that I don't know any of this stuff. I found things that you see before you. I found passbooks. I found properties that I had never heard of, but apparently belonged to Andy because they had his name. You know, I found money. I found cash, gift wrapped, things like that, things of the sort. And I, in all honesty, did not know what they were. Right? I did not know what they were. I got to a point where I realized that these things could actually be items of question. They could be things that could get my children in trouble, me into trouble. And, you know, again, as I said, we're estranged. You really wonder, you know, I look at these things and, you know, you have deposits that are below, what, 400,000, 500,000, and they're done almost every day. So these are things that, I'm not a lawyer, I am not a banker, but they're enough to really kind of make you panic. I really, really feel that this should not be in my house, right? That really, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't belong in my house, okay? I don't want anybody to think I am complicit. I have nothing to do with this because, again, who's gonna believe, right? I live under the same roof, even if we're estranged. On a very practical level, two levels, I guess. The first level is a practical one. Now, if I don't come out and say that I'm not complicit, because again, who will believe me that I don't know anything, right? You live in the same house. That in many ways, what will happen if both their parents, right, are charged or whatever? What's going to happen to my kids? That's the bigger question. The other level is a very, I guess, a more pedagogic one where I do want to teach them that, again, it's you have to, at some point in your life, you really do have to walk the talk, and this for me is one of them. And even if you're alone, you know, you pick courage not because it's easy, but because it's worth it, because at least I can stand tall and straight and say, you know what, I didn't do any of this stuff. I don't know what's going to happen, but at least me and my kids, you know, we didn't do any of this stuff.